But for now, dropping into your body, and when I say dropping, I mean releasing any tension you may have collected from the previous day, the evening. And as you feel the inhales and exhales come in and out of the container of the body, let the breath be almost like a paintbrush, painting and bringing some lighter energy into the body. Inhale, and as you exhale, just releasing any physical, mental, emotional stress. Even relaxing around the face, the eyes. Sometimes when your eyes are closed, they're actually tense. So you can even try just briefly letting the eyelids open and close like window shades, very softly, without focusing on anything with the eyes. Later on, we'll be doing movement and postures, and the gaze becomes important, the quality of the gaze and the direction. It's called drishti, because where the eyes go, the mind goes, and usually where the mind goes, the body will follow. And then allowing the eyelids to just gently shut. Bring the palms to the heart, and if you'd like to take an Om, to use sound vibration in the central core of the body. Inhale. Release the hands down. And now, as you blink open the eyes, let part of the gaze be back into the body, so to speak. So you're monitoring what's happening inside the body as well as having an exterior view. This is important, although subtle. So I'll be referencing that. But for now, as we've been doing as our warm-up, allow the body to round back. You could be in a chair or seated cross-legged. That's the exhale pattern for now. Then inhale, letting the chest come forward and arching. So just moving in this pattern. And go slow and feel your morning body begin to take these shapes without too much distress. So the other principle in yoga is called ahimsa, and we use this to move in a way that's not injurious to the body. So that's important. A lot of people go to the gym and they engage in what I would say is a mild or even a severe form of self-punishment. Thinking the body needs to be whipped into shape, and they overdo, even in yoga. So now I'm adding kind of a circularized form, pushing with the hands and engaging Uddiyana Bandha, the upward lifting belly, like the crest of a wave, and then spilling forward. So the wave builds in the belly. You draw the belly in on inhale in the paradoxical breath pattern, and exhale now, we spill forward. So now we're engaging our core locks. In yoga, we call them the bandhas. And they're important because if we wanted to come, for example, to lean back and to simply lift the legs up, crossing to a different form, then with the engagement of the belly, it's no big deal for me to just switch my legs. If you're in a chair, you can put your hands back on the sides and just lean back and lift the legs. So make sure you've got this Uddiyana Bandha. It's like a curling of the base of the wave. And you can play this game all day and do sneaky core. The wave pulls the legs in, the psoas, and we cross. So now let's lightly engage, don't overdo it, and then let's just start to side bend on the left, inhale and side bend. Here again too, in yoga, you can run into trouble by just flopping over. Like, well, I can actually do this, Dan, and that's fine, but we want to use the core muscles even here to rein in and keep consolidated. Even a simple movement like this. So moving slowly to begin allows the spine, paraspinals, and now creating kind of a tree being blown one way in the wind, or those that are fly fisher men or women know that the fly rod goes forward and then pulls back. So the base of the belly is really what's pulling you back to the center line. And then can we rotate over to one side and then rotate to the other side? Not so much using the arms, but using the core. So we could do it this way. And you could go rapidly, you could go slow, but if you go slow, you can feel an honest twist. So we're going to be working with the arms again, the upper arms. And so if you have a strap, you might get it ready and take a shoulder width loop. So hopefully you can see that this is now not on the elbow joint, but either above or below. And one of the goals today is to have or strengthen the shoulder capsule so that you can execute a good plank pose in downward dog without destroying your shoulders. So if we come to hands and knees for a second, and if you have a strap, you can use it. I've been cueing, simply pushing the upper arm bones out. You have that strap around the position just above the elbows, you can push out a few times and release. Push out and release. Right? So if I push out and slide one leg back, toning the back of the leg, push out again, the other leg. And then eventually we'll be working on is full plank pose, which you can either do now or just play with hands and knees. So this pushing out of the upper arm bones sets the humeral bone back into the shoulder capsule. So that as things open and close, now you can take the strap aside and sit either in the chair or Virasana. If you take the strap wide, it's all like preview of coming attractions. Take it up and over the head for a few extensions and flexions. So here you can feel maybe the armpits open up and allowing us potentially a much deeper back bend, but also the danger of pinching into the joints at the back of the shoulders. So I'm going to show you, if you come straight up now, And then if your knuckles are facing me, facing away from you, you're going to wrap the knuckles toward one another and feel how that feels. And this is called the anterior serratus. It wraps the upper arm bones in. These muscles are located right in complement to the lats. So how about going back on inhale with the palms open, and then as you come forward on exhale, roll the knuckles toward one another. And you could be doing this in a chair. So again, back bending, and then the whole package of the shoulders is brought into play. Don't worry if it's just starting to be driven home. But let's try a little bit more. Now, if you have a chair, fine. If you don't, you can use the wall. Show both ways. And we're going to come to standing and try this out. So if you have the chair, you're going to place your hands on top of the chair back. Bend your knees, and then start to come into a chair dog, like a downward dog. And push down with the palms and bisect the arms of your head. And then inhale, come forward like you're doing a plank pose. And exhale back. So those working with injuries, the chair work, going back and toning the quadriceps, and then feeling the upper arm bones push out. But more important, or maybe an easier way to feel this, second part of the action is if you bend your knees and sink down, you can see I could get into trouble here. Some of you that are super flexible could pinch into the back of the shoulders. So what do? I'm going to grab now around the sides of the chair back, right? So this is different. Now I'm holding this, I'm wrapping the arms in. So the open pattern is fine. Inhale back. The closed pattern, either staying in down dog or doing that modified plank, you wrap the inner elbows toward one another. And that gives you a lot of strength. So play with that just a few times. Open. I've got a nice wing back chair. And close, I could either do a plank pose here. This is my baby plank, right? And then sink back, open, and close, and feel the shoulder joints. And even sink way down like you're doing chair pose. Same thing in chair. People get into problems with overextended arms. Again, if you don't have the chair, you're working against a wall. Sinking back, pushing into the wall. Feel that opening the armpit ribs, but then like you're wrapping the inner elbows toward one another. You can lean into the wall, even do a little wall push-up. So the wall allows you to feel a point of contact and building strength around the shoulders. Open the armpits, close, if you're rolling the inner armpits together. And then launch yourself toward the wall, maybe dipping, like you're doing a Chaturanga Dandasana. If you're super playful, you can even do a vinyasa, which some people should never do, the Chaturanga Dandasana, here at the wall. So we kick back to our wall dog. Armpits might be open, and you can feel this, talked about the lower ribs, splaying out. So if you draw the lower rib cage together, roll the inner elbows together, come forward, maybe lift your heels up and tap your forehead to the wall, and then lift up, cobra pose, and then press back. Try that a few times. Open, close the elbows, close the frontal ribs, pull up through the belly, launch the heels up. And if you want, a little tap Maybe a little cobra. And then back you go. Let's forward fold wherever you are. And you have the option, if you have a wall, of doing my favorite. Forward fold, you walk your back into the wall, place some part of it, bend your knees, and lean into the wall. And then you can lift your heels up and down and scrub the mid-back into the wall. Do this for a few breaths. And when you come away from the wall, come up carefully with knees back. And we'll regroup in just a sec. So backing away from the wall, which I call, by the way, the bear scratches its back. And then let's turn around and forward fold the back of the mat and start to walk the hands out to downward dog. Bend your knees, lift your hips. And now feel how the shoulders feel. Are they getting pile driven into the ground? And then come to plank pose, test it out if you can. And feel those upper arm bones pushing out. Come down to hands and knees and sink back to child's pose. And then coming up, and we're gonna play with a few more things, because not only do the arm bonders have to be in place to do a good plank or down dog, but the legs have to be knitted into the core, which we've been working on, but we need to consolidate these two pieces. So if you have a strap, we've been just taking the strap in the hands and reaching back, but this is, and you could do that, open and close, rolling the knuckles together. But for more action, take this strap again, just above the elbows, and go back and reach back and take what feels like a handstand. If the strap is clipping your head, move it a little bit away and push out as you tone your legs and pull the upper arm bones back into the sockets. And then bring the hands up like you're doing plank pose toward the ceiling. So your palms are pressing toward an imaginary ceiling. And don't overdo this push out against the strap if you have it. And then you're going to spin your palms a little bit, your fingers a little bit away, and try to feel that wrapping of the inner elbows. So inhale, reach a little bit back, and exhale as you come toward the ceiling, a little bit turn out of the fingers, pull the right knee in toward you. And then kick that knee back, and let's try the other side. Reach back, inhale, exhale, wrap. So you can either bring the palms completely to face one another or just turn the palms. And let's just repeat this a few cycles to feel now how the core has to pull in and engage along with this consolidation of the shoulders. Once you get it, don't go too crazy and reduce your amount of pressure out on the strap. But it really will build strength around the arm capsules. So can we set the feet down like bridge pose and reach the arms back again? Inhale, and then exhale, bring the arms up and either spin the palms toward one another, like you're holding a box, or just turn the fingers out. And then float the shins to parallel. And now you can feel core engagement. And we're just going to go a little bit back with the arms, a little forward with the knees. Inhale and exhale. Okay? So if you want, you can add the wrapping piece of the arms as you move here in a simple movement. As the arms glide back halfway to the floor, the palms spin to the ceiling. As you exhale, they spin toward one another as the knees come in. We'll be here for about 20 minutes. Just kidding. And feel those frontal ribs knitting in as the arms rotate. Let's set the feet down. Let's take the strap off of our elbows if we have it and take it into our hands. If you don't have a strap, you can just bind the fingers like so, like you're pulling taffy. And then let's just make little circles with either pulling on the strap, shoulder width strap, and circular eyes, let the back of the head, shoulders, everything move. If you want a little extra work, you can float those shins up. And as I go over to the right, the knees drop left. As I swing the parallel arms over to the left, the knees go right. So don't go too far. But now we're playing in the core and the obliques, and the side panels. So any circular motions, think about how cats and dogs sometimes do weird things on their backs. So they might be playing and massaging their backs, and they might be secretly doing their core work because they don't have dog and cat gyms. So I'm making a little circle on my sacrum and making a little circle on my arms, and I'm testing out the parameters. Okay, enough of that for now. Taking the feet down, open the knees, take the soles of the feet together, go post your arms or straight out, Supta Baddha Konasana. Now things open up. So here's a restorative pose used in yoga, but you can feel how your body is completely exposed. Great for the beach and for opening the inner legs. But I would never want to bear any weight in this pose because the shoulder capsules are completely open and exposed, and the leg capsules are completely open and exposed. So imagine someone pushing your knees to the ground like the old yoga teachers used to do, or the arms. We don't want that. We don't want that kind of damage. So can we take Garuda Asana arms on our backs? So we're going to cross at the elbows, and I'm crossing my right arm further away from me, my left arm closer too. And then come into eagle wrap. And now we've really wrapped the shoulders in that second pattern. As you glide the elbows back, inhale over your head, exhale toward your bent knees. And just start to move here. And if you want extra credit, you can slide the legs long and do what we did earlier, pulling one knee in. You're going to tap elbows to knees. And those that want extra credit, lifting the entire head off the ground, keeping a little curl of the chin toward the chest. So just working a little sneaky core. And then everyone can bend their knees again. Let's try the other side. We open. Feels good to open for sure. But then for strength work, we cross. If you can't get the elbows crossed, you're just holding your shoulders. Now I have my right arm closer, my left arm distant. And you don't have to do the leg work, but as you move the Bound elbows up overhead on inhale. See if you can feel the core irregardless. So the hips may be tilting away as your arms move overhead. Exhale, even if your knees aren't pulling in the more advanced permutation of the pose, knit the frontal ribs together as your elbows come down toward them, right? So this is all consolidation of this shoulder work, and I'm going to do my knee stuff and maybe lift the head, just for fun. Now, if you have a neck problem, look what you can do. You can hook the free hand to the back of the skull and use it as a little prop. Okay. Open. Legs straight, arms open. Ha. Now, there is other core work to be had. So let's bend the knees again. Take the hands behind the head. And inhale, push the open arms, upper arm bones down into the earth. Now feel the retraction of the shoulder blades. And then flatten the low back and just lift the head, supported by the hands up. Let's do this a little bit. And those with cranky necks get a nice flexion and extension. So as you inhale, you can even glide the gaze back, the drishti. And the hands, the fingers, are not interlaced, but they're lengthening and tractioning the neck by gently pulling at the base of the skull, and then you wrap it in. Those that want extra credit, float the shins as before, come up, maybe even straight legs. Come down and come up. And this would allow you eventually to come right up to Navasana. Inhale and exhale, come right up. You can try that a few times. And now I have core, and here's the arm wrap. Open pattern, closed pattern. Cross and come to hands and knees. So let's try a downward dog. And if you're working with the strap, you can put it back on, optional, and you'll feel, watch first if you've never done it, how strong your shoulders are protected here. Inhale, cat, and then cow. Open pattern, closed pattern, I push out, and now I can either rest the forehead on the strap, if I have the strap, or launch the arms forward and wear my party hat, so my head is in between the strap ends. Super flexible people, as you bend your knees, can even drop the head further and then work the back of the head into the strap. But be careful. Bend the knees and straighten a few times, feeling the open and close pattern of the shoulder capsules. And then if you can, launch forward. Let's try plank pose again. Maybe walking the feet back, engage the inner legs. Let's come down to hands and knees and release the strap. Okay, so hopefully you're learning a little bit about the shoulders. And now let's just do a little more core work so everyone's safe. Take your blanket roll, put it between the knees so we can get the normal bandhas in the belly in operation or in concert with the shoulders. Now we don't have the strap, but we can push out as we look forward and broaden the collarbones. And then, pushing out, what do? We wrap the armpits, the outer armpits in, like we're going to pull the elbows in together. You can even have bent elbows as you squeeze the towel and go back. Come forward in plank pose, squeezing your towel. Wrap the inner elbows toward one another. Pull the frontal ribs together. You should feel much stronger doing it this way. Okay, let's take a child's pose or a downward dog to go into an easy open pattern. So you want to balance strength work in yoga with release. Otherwise, you're carrying like a monkey on your back the tensions of the prior pose. We want all the postures to dissolve into one another like ingredients in a mixture. No one ingredient should take precedence. So another way to do your downward dog in the open pattern is to, as I said, spiral the fingers out. You lift the chest. Now with no apparatus, you come into this posture, downward dog. Can you bring the feet together, lift the right leg high, and then knee to nose, and you're wrapping those outer armpits, even maybe bending the elbow slightly. If this is too hard, you're working on hands and knees, right? But you're still opening and closing the armpits. And then let's switch legs. So wrap. Open the armpits as you push forward, and then wrap the inner arms together. Wrap the ribs together. Again, you could be doing this down on your hands and knees. Okay? And then let's all try a plank pose, either from downward dog or from hands and knees. See if you can find the actions of plank. And come down, sit into child's pose. And then coming up and either taking the fingers apart as before, or just feeling the actions in the arms, the open pattern on inhale, the closing pattern. And let's come up to downward dog. Come forward to plank, frontal ribs wrap, inner elbows wrap, and then coming down to hands and knees. Now you can double up your mat, and we'll play a little more before we move on to do our warriors. I want to spend whole class with this, but we've done this scrubbing motion on the diagonals. Inhale forward, exhale retract. But now watch. Inhale, I have the open armpits. I'm going to take the ends of the towel and pull them, wrap them in as I retract. So I get both actions going, retract. Inhale, and then as I pull in the cat belly, retract. Again, don't overdo it. Don't get overly excited. When you learn a new action, you're like, aha. And then you might over muscle. Okay? So again, it's this and then retraction. So, unfurl your mat and try one last thing. Now you can use your blanket roll for your elbows, watch first, or those that need to work with a chair could be working here, like you're saying in your prayers. What I'm going to do is see if I can extend the arms and then come up. So on the ground, this looks like this. I sink back, bring the palms up, and then I place the forearms down, and like I'm doing a forearm plank, I'm looking at my thumbs. Inhale, reach back, opening the armpits, and then exhale, push down. And just work here. As some of you figured out, when you push down, oh, I could lift my hips up too. Drop them, Go back. Maybe you can even tap with your thumbs, your mid-spine. And then push down, consolidate that back to the shoulders. Maybe it's a forearm plank. And then let's move on. So, downward dog, your shoulders should be plenty warmed up and strong now. And then you're going to step or jump your feet to your hands, lengthen, and fold. Then your knees come up through chair pose. And again, here's how a lot of people do chair. They've got the open armpits and they're like, wow, I can really reach behind me. Don't. Wrap in. And you're wrapping these frontal ribs. It's an honest chair. Inhale, come up and stand. Now we've been doing this in class, opening pattern of goalpost arms. Inhale. Exhale, come down into a chair, closing pattern, like you're offering something to the gods, right? We'll do that a few times. Open, tone the legs, get big, and then get small. Open and close. And now close and step your right foot back, warrior one. Open. And then close. Step the feet together. Open and stand. Close. Contracting frontal ribs, frontal body. A lot of strength. Just slide back, step back. Brush the front knee. Ah. Close. Exhale. Step the feet together. Inhale, come up. Can we do it again? Start to move in a vinyasa. Learning how to open, bring the prana in. Now, close it. Extra credit, experienced people come into warrior three in this modified form. Aha. Closed. Off you go. So choose your level. Step back. Up. Now I consolidate. Maybe I hop up. Squeeze. The whole carapace. Notice how I'm taking warrior three with the palms up. And the knees, up you come. Palms to the heart. So that technology is going to be really helpful in all sorts of postures. Let's move on. Opening. And coiling in. Can we take a prayer twist? Or just tap the elbow. Then come up. And then coiling. Now we're coiling each individual part of the rib cage. Open and close. Do this about, 200 times. So you'll see a lot of yogis doing prayer twist and holding and then chiropractically adjusting. That's fine if your body is suited for that, but this is the primary movement. And then come up, rest. So moving on, let's see if we can reach up, inhale, and then wrap the shoulders, wrap the anterior serratus, step back right foot, reach up, pivot out to warrior two. Let the arms slowly descend. So inhale, open pattern. Exhale, close. Inhale, open and close. And once you've got this action, I want you to just go light. Now we close, start to lean forward and just drop that right forearm down and launch the left arm up. But you can feel the armpits are in a process of dancing with the breath, opening and closing, and so that the shoulders are consolidated. Inhale, come up, straighten the front leg, open armpits, and then wrap. Take the front hand down, launch the upper arm up. So even though I'm opening here, there's still a secondary wrap, and that launches the mid-spine forward, right up to the back of the head. Inhale, come up, and turn the back foot to the front to set up for Parsvakonasana. Hips are level. So here, let's take the arms as before. Inhale, exhale, wrap, lean forward, and go to your degree. Go all the way down to the ground, fingers facing back, frontal ribs wrapping. Push into the floor with the feet, and you could be working on a chair. Let's lift the back heel, sit the back knee down, and come to low lunge, sink in. So the same principles apply as we were doing earlier. We can inhale, ah, and then exhale, like we're going to tap our elbows to our front knee. You can even capture the back of the head. Ah, inhale, whoa, nice back bend. And then capture, tap. Then we'll take this into a twist. So your degree, back bend, ah, open armpits. Nice, not strong for any weight bearing. Come up, capture, and rotate to the outside of the front knee. Again, this could be your twist. You just open the arms casually without using them to overpower the spine. Or slide that left elbow forward, palms together, lift the back knee. Still, the action of the ribs is holding this. It's not really my elbows. Look, I'm moving up and down. And then we come down and place the hands, could be on a chair, and straighten the front leg. Now you can simply come forward with your hands in front of the front foot and lift the back and just step the feet together, taking forward fold, or challenge with a little standing split. Again, the frontal ribs wrapping, even here the armpits wrapping allow you to eventually close the hands at the back of the standing foot. Bend the right knee, set the left foot together, forward fold, bend the knees, give it a rest. Now bend your knees, come up to chair pose. Remember, and then standing. Let's try the other side. I'm going to switch directions so you can still see me. So inhale, open pattern. Exhale, close, sinking into a, let's call it Ardha Uttanasana, forearms together. Step right foot back. Open the arms. Open out to warrior two. Shifting the back foot to 90. So we're in, check out your shoulders. A lot of people are not comfortable in this pose. So if we just lift hands up, I've shown you this technique before, and then pull into the retraction mode, which could look like this. And then we could lean forward, all core work, and just casually set the left forearm and launch the upper arm. Even the upper arm is wrapped. Here's what would be unwrapped. I'd spin the right palm to the sky and be like this. I'm like, look, everybody, I'm really open. Well, that's not strong. You spiral the upper arm bone. Ultimately, people take the forehead and coil it in toward the arm. But you can look down if you've got a neck issue. And then reaching up. Again, open pattern. Arm, it's open. Subscaps right here. Ah, feels good. But can we close it in a little bit and take the front hand? If Kayla Sheets is watching, she's pushing the knuckles into the inner leg, as is the Bikram tradition. I like to place the hand on a surface. But the other way helps the same action we've been working with. Inhale, come up. They're going to take the hands to the hips and steer them forward Step the back foot in a little bit. Inhale, open pattern. Exhale, close. You can bend the front knee and go down. If you're working with flexibility issues, you can use a wall, a chair. Otherwise, eventually go down and let the hands find the ground. I'm using the reverse hand pattern. Fingers facing toward the back foot. Then walk the hands forward and the front knees sink down. I'm just going to turn to face you. So hands come up to the left knee and you sink down. So we all have different patterns. Some of us walk around like this. Most people walk around, especially these days, compressed, and that puts a lot of pressure on the internal organs. So both are good. This is nice to open, right? I got some space. But if I can be subtly now wrapping into my core strength and tapping, all sorts of things could come into play, all sorts of permutations. And then I use that closing of the bellows to rotate, squeeze. And then the arms are kind of incidental to what I've already constructed in my core. I could go down further if I want, doesn't matter. Come up with the back knee, but I should be able to almost not need the knee to lever my body. That sort of chiropractic movement is potentially dangerous. Let's come down, hands to either side of front foot, or up on a chair, and straighten the front leg. And you can move back and forth a little bit. And then you have the option, as we tuck the back toes under, of just walking the hands forward and stepping the feet together, forward fold, or take a little hop into standing split, and you can feel the open pattern of the ribs. Inhale, then close the frontal ribs, close the armpits, and maybe wrap the arms around the foot, one or both. Here again, this pattern serves you. And then bend the left knee, set the right foot next to it. Turn the toes out like a duck and sit down to Malasana for a little respite as we come into some final postures. So give your low back a little. Now, if you can do this, and you can do it in a chair if you can't sit in Malasana, but Malasana is great for the low back. And take your right arm inside your right knee and reach up. So what do we have here? We have an open pattern in the upper arm, and the lower arm, as it pushes into the knee, is in the closed pattern. Aha. And then let's switch. Create a little pressure, pushing that knee out, and then right arm up. Open pattern, closed pattern. Why is this fun? Try it a few times. Eventually have a seat. If I want to do crazy things in my yoga practice, aha, and be able to do a little mini arm balance. I need that. So, those that would like to try this in downward dog can with extreme care. Those that want to try it on hands and knees just to have a final challenge are going to do the following. And inhale, glide the left leg back. Instead of knee to nose, you're going to tap front elbow and pull the elbow toward the knee. Feel that retraction of the armpit rib, and then do the other side. Those that are advanced, you can work in downward dog with one leg, and then you come forward, wrapping the inner armpits, and here you tap and hang out. So this is advanced work, just to show you the crazy things, which eventually leads to even crazier things like this. Okay? Please don't do that. It's here, one of my advanced students. So let's move toward the close, and we've done a lot of shoulder things, so we want to Also be able to, like a washcloth, rinse the shoulders in a few twists. We're going to go onto our backs with this spiraling Hindu goddess work. And with bent knees, take a few easy spirals, a few twists, and then we'll choose our exit. If you're going down, you don't like going to the ground willy-nilly, you hold your knee. Down you go. Knees bend, arms out to the side. Now inhale, drop the knees right, look to the left palm and roll it to the sky. The right palm is pushing the other way, down, palm into the ground. Exhale to center. Inhale, knees roll left. Spiral your gaze toward your left hand, roll palm to the sky. You get the picture. And now we're rolling in the shoulder capsules in a nice way. So feel, if nothing else today, that you've got some intelligence in your shoulders, especially if you have an injury. Now we can try a bridge, taking the arms up to the sky like we did before, like a plank, and then palms together and elbows come down and just raise the side ribs, push into the ground with the elbows, lift the hips. So now we've wrapped those armpit ribs. Come down, try another permutation for squeezing your knees for your low back sake. Grab your mat. So extend your arms toward your heels, slide your fingers, all but the thumb, under the mat, and primary pattern, pull the width of the mat wider. Exhale, pull toward you, slide the shoulder blades toward the heels, lift the hips. Those that want can reach up to the sky and reach behind you. Make sure the neck is comfortable. And those that want to wheel can drag the fingernails back, flip the palms, and you want to move your tailbone toward the knees as you come up. And watch the arms as usual. Don't let them splay open, but wrap the inner elbows together. Same thing coming down. And then prepare for Shavasana. Lying down, or if you have an inversion, I know Betty likes to do her headstand, or legs up the wall. Take a few minutes to do whatever prep for Shavasana. A couple of minutes to play in inversions, unless you've got to run off to work. Sadly, still have a few minutes before 9. A 5-minute Shavasana is actually fairly minimal. But for these classes, I'm giving you the goods. And assuming that you're going to take restorative work after class or some other time. So let's come down off of our inversions and take a breath and join, if you're lying down, join me seated. Just see how everything is sorted out now. So it's important once you've done a structural class like this to feel those areas, and maybe a little sore tomorrow, and release them. So let the breath release the shoulders. But you need to keep the strength. Work up. Otherwise, as you age, the shoulder strength, arm strength decreases rapidly without pressure. Palms to the heart. Namaste.